the way that we've tried to redesign this journey or redesign how we engage with clients is that we do want it to still feel like a family office. We don't want it to feel like, maybe they are just getting started. We want them to have access to all of those different financial aspects of their life, whether it's estate planning, taxes, insurance, investment management, and kind of our foundation core of financial planning. We still want that experience to be very much the same as what a client with maybe $10 or $100 million might experience.
Welcome to Knowing Me, Knowing You, the podcast for the future of wealth management. Thanks for being here. I'm Marla Sofer. Money is a tool. It empowers people. Let's dive into how technology is personalizing advice, strengthening connections, and creating lasting impact. If you're an advisor looking to differentiate, a fintech leader shaping the next wave, or a client ready to take control of your financial future, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, today I am thrilled to welcome Laura Combs to the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast. Laura is Executive Managing Director at Mercer Advisors, where she leads the firm's Northern Division and National Wealth Path Group. She's also a founding force behind InvestHERS, Mercer Advisors' award-winning program focused on empowering women through financial planning led by women for women. Over her 15-year career at Mercer Advisors, Laura has built her path from the ground up, rising through a variety of client-facing and leadership roles. She is a Forbes Top Woman Advisor, a 40 Under 40 honoree from Investment News, and a Top 100 Advisor to Watch by Advisor Hub. Laura lives and breathes the idea that wealth management should be accessible, comprehensive, and inclusive. And she's walking the talk every day in her leadership at Mercer Advisors. Laura, welcome to the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast.
Thanks so much, Marla, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here. And we started off our intro conversation just saying that I found you through this Instagram post. And I love that you are really embracing kind of the way that content is changing. I would love to start with the question, what excites you about the moment that we're in right now?
I think this moment is really interesting, Marla, because it's this idea that the financial markets, the financial world is like incredibly complex, and how people are getting information, the ways that we're accessing it, like you mentioned on social media, it's just coming at us from all different avenues and all different angles. And I'm excited because I think more now than ever, people are really needing help. They're really needing financial guidance to be able to say, what is true? What is correct information? How can I get on a path forward? And so I think companies like Mercer Advisors, what we're doing is really well positioned to kind of tune out a lot of the noise and get people on the right path. And I also think that women are having a moment as well. There's a lot of opportunity for women who are growing their wealth, who are receiving or inheriting wealth. And I think it's just a great opportunity to really have women take action with their finances.
Oh, you're saying so many things that are speaking my language. So one of the things that I want to jump into is you talked about tuning out the noise, the moment that we're in. And when I did some reading, I saw that you started your career at Mercer Advisors in 2008. What a time to start your career in wealth management. And you have now grown into a national leadership role. I'm curious if you can reflect back on that moment and maybe create some analogies to where we are now. That importance of tuning out noise, focusing on what matters, centering the needs of the client. What have been some of those defining lessons and turning points as you've stayed at Mercer Advisor for such a long time and you started at that volatile moment?
Exactly. I fell into finance, Marla, is what I like to tell people. I fell into finance. I didn't study business. I didn't study finance in school. I kind of fell into it. And what a moment to fall into it. Like I didn't know what I didn't know. And what I was always really passionate about was helping people. I always wanted to support people. I always wanted to help guide them, whether it was like an event planning or helping them plan just to have a better experience. And the math piece always came really, really easy for me. So it was a kind of a perfect marriage to fall into this at this moment. And it was really interesting to watch our advisors walk with clients through that time, because a lot of the message that still rings true today is we exist so that our clients don't have to worry about money. And even in 2008, when things were happening, even now we're seeing the volatility in the market. we're still walking alongside clients to really make sure they have an experience that they don't have to worry about money, being that guide, kind of making sure that they have the things that they need and want. And starting in the industry, in 2008 to where we are today, there's going to be those ups and downs. And I think, for me, some of those moments that in my career, I took several big risks. And I think those are the seminal moments that stand out to me. I left a very robust office in our Chicagoland area where I started my career to open an office in Colorado, in Boulder, Colorado, where I still live today. People thought we were crazy. People at Mercer Advisors thought I was crazy. Like, why are you leaving this stable, established team to go start something in kind of the frontier? And to me, it was about how do we help more people? How do we impact communities in different areas so that we can help those even more clients? And that to me was kind of an interesting and seminal moment, because now, we have 5 offices in Colorado. Our headquarters is here in Denver, Colorado. And so just to kind of see that progression has been really neat. And even on the national leadership scale, like you talked about, when I started WealthPath, which is a national team that serves clients that are building and growing wealth, like no one in our industry was doing that. Those were clients that were maybe, underserved. They didn't get the attention. And I really felt passionate about welcoming and having that accessibility to even more families, regardless of if they were just getting started. And so to be able to have a team that's now dedicated like that, to me, has been a turning point in a lot of my leadership, to be able to expand access to wealth management, to all of those different services, to even more families.
I want to learn. This is fantastic. There's so much in there that you shared from your own journey. And you shared it also before we started recording, that you have young kids. You shared right now that you really have this passion to help. You're walking alongside your clients, and that you took a major risk. And you took a major risk at a fairly early time in your career. And now what you're doing is you are helping a demographic that's often been ignored, the demographic that is still building their wealth, the demographic that you might not be the most profitable today, but they certainly could be tomorrow. And you're building those relationships early. Can you talk a little bit about how are you engaging them? How are you finding those individuals? What types of questions are you asking to build those types of relationships with them that are sustainable over time as they grow their wealth and as they maintain their wealth? And then they have that basis of trust with Mercer Advisors to help manage their wealth.
You mentioned, just engaging that demographic. And I think it's a demographic that I've seen really be underserved. And, whether it's friends that I know or that I've met or family members that I have, it's like the financial world's complex. There's a lot of different things that are going on. It's how do you get people at this young age on the right track? And again, many people might be younger investors, or they might be, growing in their career, but to really get them started, I think to me, it comes down to like, how do you engage people where they are? And I think getting people connected at an even earlier age is really important.
Do you mind if I jump in a little bit? Just can you define what is the demographic of WealthPath? So when we're defining what WealthPath is, just give us a little bit of an overview so we contextualize. What are we talking about here?
Absolutely. So the WealthPath team, and really when we think about WealthPath clients, this is really clients that are building and growing wealth. So maybe $1 million of investable assets and below, but really wanting to get started. So whether they have $0 today, $500,000, $1 million, clients that are in this demographic, generally speaking, they might be early in their careers, young families, and growing their wealth with high income potential. And so this is a demographic that, like you mentioned, has often been overlooked because maybe of a profitability piece. But to me, it's so important to make sure that we are serving this unique client base, because these are the clients of the future. And I think that's where many advisors often overlook, like they're just thinking about today and now versus how do we serve and how do we get connected with clients that will be fantastic wealth management clients for years to come, or generations to come even. And you mentioned just the trust that those families have and being able to connect with someone, in their early 30s or 40s. Those relationships last for decades. Those relationships where you have a trusted partner, while you maybe are building and growing your wealth, like that is those relationships. I think those clients trust you. They know that you're going to take care of them for years to come versus, maybe an advisor who only wants to work with you when you have a certain amount of money. So just being able to serve families regardless of where they are, even as they're getting started, that's really what it's about. And I think the way that we've tried to redesign this journey or redesign how we engage with clients is that we do want it to still feel like a family office. We don't want it to feel like, maybe they are just getting started. We want them to have access to all of those different financial aspects of their life, whether it's estate planning, taxes, insurance, investment management, and kind of our foundation core of financial planning. We still want that experience to be very much the same as what a client with maybe 10 or $100 million might experience, but having that family office wrap around them.
So I think a lot of advisors listening might ask, well, how are you doing that? Like there's a capacity question and a cost question. So when you're thinking about margins in your business and profitability, how are you able to offer that type of family office touch for a client that might not be creating as much revenue for the business?
So one of the things that we felt really passionate about and strongly about was really making sure that this client segment had a dedicated team serving them. So we actually redesigned the way our teams serve this group of clients to make sure that we are able to provide that high touch, but also to be able to do that at maybe a more scalable effort. And so we have a team of about 100 individuals where they only focus and they only serve clients in this wealth path demographic. And it's a great way to make sure that they are giving them their full attention. They're not maybe distracted by clients that have different needs, but really taking care of this group of clients. We're also leveraging a lot of technology to make sure when we're onboarding clients that we're able to connect with them, get their information, maybe in a faster way than maybe sitting. And again, a lot of these clients are tech enabled. So they want to be able, I think about myself, it's like, if I can't make an appointment sometimes on my iPhone, it's hard for me to make that appointment. I want to have that technology capability. And so we've got a lot of tools and resources within our client portal to make sure that we can connect and get access and information to these clients 24/7.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think it's not only that you're expanding your reach, it's that you are evolving into how digital tools can help capture so much information in a faster way that's building these deep, sustainable relationships so that you're there and trusted at the time when these clients grow, which I think there's so much lesson to be learned in that. One of the questions, so I'm very curious to learn more about that, but I wonder when you think about building trust and getting into, especially on the Wealth Path group, how are you diving into the why? A lot of good seasoned advisors are just naturally good listeners, conversation starters. They really dig into a client's why and build trust really effectively, but they're not that good at rinse, repeat. Let me train 20 more people to do that. There's something they have inherently in them. So how are you looking at the Wealth Path group and getting to that why and what they really want their money to help them achieve at a higher scale?
I love this question because this to me is what it's all about, right? It's about the why. It's about, like I said earlier, we exist so that our clients don't have to worry about money. It's like we want to be able to understand the why so that we can help clients not worry about money. And I think, before I get into the specifics on the Wealth Path group, I think just generally speaking, growing up at Mercer, I've been here 17 years now. Growing up here, I have always been incredibly impressed, Marla, the fact that we have such a curious culture. And what I mean by that is like we really try to approach every situation, every new client meeting with just a curiosity and a genuine interest to just learn and understand clients better. So it's not about just, getting to know more clients or welcoming more people. I think it really, at our core, like we passionately and deeply care about people and want to understand that. And so to me, again, we want to hear from individuals and clients to say, like, what is important to you about money? What was money like growing up? We want to hear that from both sides. And we want to, if there's a married couple, we want to hear from both spouses to really try and draw out, because generally, you probably know, and your listeners probably know, one spouse might be a little bit more dominant in the conversation. So really kind of digging deeper at that why with both individuals. And to me, that is at the core of what we do, is having an understanding, because it's not just about the money, right? It's about what we do with the money. It's about what money allows us to do. It's about the hopes, the dreams, the goals that we want to achieve. And that's at the heart of it. And so I think for a group of advisors like our Wealth Path team, to be able to understand that, we have a whole advisor development program where we're really training and helping people understand going beyond the surface. And even if you get one answer, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's pause, listen to that client, play that back to them, go deeper into, tell me more about this. And getting individuals and getting clients talking more, that's where the magic happens.
Oh, you said so many beautiful things. And I knew we were going to be fast friends. So many like buzzwords that I love. Money as a tool to achieve purpose and impact, and really diving into what they heard growing up and how their relationship with money evolves, how that relates to them as a couple. When you've got two people who are managing money, have very different relationships with money. And how do you get them to break through free, recognizing their motivators and their values and what they really want out of their futures? One of the things that has inspired me so much that I learned about you is that you started, or you helped launch InvestHERS in 2018. So that was some time ago. It was a very innovative concept, I would say, back then. Why was it important to you to create a space specifically for women's financial planning? How has it evolved? What is the focus of the program? Maybe start with just a high level overview of what is it?
Oh goodness. Yes. I love this. We could spend a whole, half day on this, Marla, on the InvestHERS program. And I'll start with really like why I launched it and what it does and what it means to me, and kind of the overview. So when we think back to 2018, there was kind of a moment happening with women in wealth. And there was a lot of conversation around, having women be more involved in wealth management. And to me, it was really a personal decision. It was personally important to me because at that time, Marla, I had 3 young daughters. I had another daughter 2 years later. So I have 4 daughters. And again, there was just like a lot of this focus around it. And I really wanted to be an agent for change. And I didn't want to just talk about supporting women, which I think was happening a little bit in the industry. There were some taglines. Like I really wanted to start something that was meaningful, that was real, that people could actually see action and change out of. And, I set out with some of the other fabulous women at Mercer Advisors to launch InvestHERS, which was a 2-pronged approach. It was to be the employer of choice for female advisors or female wealth management professionals, and the firm of choice for female investors. So it's kind of this 2-prong approach. And again, just thinking through that time, I really wanted to make sure that it was both of those. And initially we've done, I think, a fantastic job internally at our organization of really growing and strengthening our female talent. We have nearly 50% of our client-facing staff are women. Nearly 50% of our advisors are women. A third of our leadership team are women. And so we have a fantastic community. And again, what I wanted to think about was how do we create some actionable groups? So we have internally a mentorship program that is women mentoring other women. We have book clubs. We have affinity groups. I mentioned I've got young children. I actually have 6 children. And so just this idea of work-life balance, working moms, we've got groups where women can kind of share, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, or this is what I'm walking through. Is anyone else feeling this as well? And so it's just a great opportunity for people to come together. We also have groups for women who are managing, maybe caretakers for aging parents, for example. And so I think that was a really big focus internally. I also lead and launched a public speaking group. We had no female sales professionals at the time in our client development team. And we had all this content for women, but it was being delivered by men. So to be able to really empower and develop women so they could raise and elevate their executive presence and deliver public speaking events was something that I wanted to make sure we had, so that when we went out to female clients, we could present a women's event led by women. So that's a little internally. And then now I think the moment that we're seeing right now, something I'm personally focused on this year, is how do we really shift our focus externally to be the premier wealth management firm of choice for female investors, so that we have opportunities for women to come into our organization. And so we spend a lot of time, we have a lot of focus around specialized areas for women, whether that's women who are divorced or divorcing, kind of walking through that, women who have lost a spouse, maybe they're widowed. Breadwinners is another area that we really focus on as well. So there's different areas that we want to make sure women in those phases of life or those areas can connect with advisors who specialize in serving the unique needs that they're facing in their lives.
We'll be right back with the show, but I want to let you know about an exciting event that we're hosting on September 17th. I'll be joined by Dr. Megan Lertz, a leading researcher in behavioral finance and advisor-client connection, and Emily Rassam, partner and CFP at Archer Investment Management. We'll dig into what actually builds trust and what to do when it breaks or is threatened. You'll find the link to register in the show notes. Don't miss it. Can't wait to see you there. no doubt that very smart to kind of focused on the internal approach first. And the second, I think will kind of come naturally. One of the things that I really love about what you said is that you tapped into yourself and said, I've got 4 daughters, you've got 6 kids, I imagine 2 boys.
Yes, I have twin boys.
But you said you started with that. And it was so beautiful because it really hooked into your motivator. And when you understand the motivator, why would somebody want to be involved in something or even create this program? It taps into what's important to them and their values. And it's so critical to what you do as a wealth manager. It's understanding what it is that's motivating them to achieve an end. And then what you did is you built it sounds like extremely high value community. We're going to give you all of these tidbits of value that are going to help you get what your interests are achieved as an employee first, and then as somebody serving clients, and then as a client. And as a client, we know the challenges you're going through, and we want to understand your motivators, but we're going to give you the community in which you can get all of your things achieved. And to me, what this sounds like is a much more holistic approach to advice. You are, by your very nature, and this may just be inherent in you, you are bringing this kind of family office, end-to-end holistic approach to the way that you are managing the business, to the way that you are creating community and creating value back to your clients. Does that resonate for you?
Yes, absolutely. This idea of the holistic kind of family office, all-in-one relationship, and I think that's a lot of the work that we're doing is to be able to bring that all together, because what we've seen is when everything's working together, clients achieve better outcomes. That's what we're seeing in the industry. And I think, when I think about kind of that family office, like you mentioned, that family office model, we want to be a family office for real families, for every family. And I think that historically, if we look historically at kind of the family office model, Marla, it's generally only been available for, ultra high net worth, $25, $50 million and above. And so I really wanted, and in kind of the same way I'm passionate about serving women, I really wanted to provide even more families with the opportunity to get that full family office model and having that full team around them, to be able to make sure that they have everything in their lives that has a dollar sign taken care of by one place, by one phone call, which again, I think helps really the impact. You can see that impact when you have that all connected. It's just the outcomes are so much greater.
Your authenticity definitely comes through as you speak about it. And I know you've been in it for a long time with Mercer Advisors, and you've really built out just this incredible program. I read that you have a motto, go for it. And I wonder if you don't mind telling us a little bit about that mindset, about how it has guided you when you took that risk and moved from Chicago to Colorado and built a family and built a business and really encouraged the business that you were in. And I'm sure you came into a business and it's probably different than the business that it is today. So that go for it mentality probably inspired a lot of the shifting that is bringing the business into what the next generation is going to be looking for from it.
Yes, go for it. I have it in a sign in my home. I write it on things. I tell it to my children, and it's just so simple. It's so simple, yet it's often really hard to do. And I think what I found, and the reason I kind of started embodying that, Marla, is I just found early on that, people would kind of be waiting for things to happen in life. You think about like people getting married or getting a job or buying a house or having children, whatever it might be. It kind of feels like many people, not all people, but many people might be waiting for this perfect moment to kind of appear and arrive. And I've just seen in my life that like, there's never the perfect time. There's never the perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now. And it's just go for it. You have to just take a chance, go for it. And what I've realized is that go for it doesn't mean that I'm not going to succeed every time. It means that I probably will fail, but at least I'm trying. At least I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting the effort forward, because if I don't go for it, and if people don't go for it in life, Marla, then they're just going to be kind of still sitting back waiting for the what if. And I've just found, especially, as a female in finance, women in wealth, like we have to go for it. We have to just raise our hand, take chances, reach out for opportunities, even if it might not feel like the right time. And I found for me, that's been incredibly rewarding, even if it's felt uncomfortable. And that's what I try to encourage people, whether it's my children, whether it's my colleagues, whether it's my friends, or even my clients. We just have to go for it, because if we don't, we're still going to be in the same spot. But if we go for it, really unique things might happen. And that's what it's all about.
That resonates so strongly. And it also resonates with my own journey. And I've also taken a lot of risks and had a very deliberately kind of nonlinear career journey. But my biggest shift has been, launching a company and being a founder. And I think it's not only that you find yourself in the same spot, it's that you might look back and have remorse that you didn't go for it. That you look back and say, why didn't I just try? Why didn't I just do that thing? And here I am, 75, I wish I would have. Laura, what is one instance in your life or a conversation that you've had that has changed your personal relationship with money?
This is so good. It's like hard to distill it down, but I think to me, one instance, or I don't even know if it's one, it's kind of a combination of a few. So I'll take you on a bit of a journey if you don't mind, and the listeners don't mind. To me, I think I said it earlier, like money is an incredibly powerful tool, Marla. Growing up for me, like my family didn't have a lot of money, and it was I knew that it was very evident. And sometimes I, might have felt embarrassed by that as a young child, but in reality, it was actually such a blessing to grow up with parents who actually put saving and giving first in their lives versus spending and have the latest, trend or indulgence like cable TV, right? I didn't have cable TV growing up, and I didn't realize it then, right? In the moment, you kind of are like wishing you had these things. But as an adult, I think, the question kind of around like just that perspective or what really changed my relationship with money. I think as an adult, this perspective has changed because, while we talked about it, I can, go for it, take those risks at work. It's ultimately to me, I think it's about how I can build a legacy, and not only just for my family, but for, the ability to go for it, the ability to use money as a tool to help others in my life and my community, in the world at large. I think to me, the idea that money is a tool that you can really use for that impact, for positive change, to make a difference in the world, that to me has been something that's really changed my relationship with money. Kind of having an experience where I didn't have a lot, but now being able to really say, it's not about the things. And it never was about the things, even as a child with my parents. It was about how do we save, protect our family, build a legacy, and give money away to help others.
I think that is so important. It's so aligned with the ethos of Know Me, of everything that we are also looking to build in wealth management, in the industry for financial services. It is how are we harnessing the power of money to achieve the change that we want to see in our own lives, in the lives of our loved ones, and in our legacy on the planet. What is it that your money is going to help you achieve? What is the thumbprint that you're going to put while you're here on this world? I loved your answer so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Is there anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask? Because you had so many brilliant insights. And I know you've done such incredible work at Mercer Advisors. So before we wrap up, I just want to give you that opportunity.
I think to me, the thing that I'm excited about is bringing that family office model to even more people. And I'll just add, kind of the way that we do that is really bringing that unified team together with a handpicked advisor to make sure that we've got the right person for clients. We didn't talk a lot about that, but that's something that I'm really passionate about. I think a lot of organizations might just kind of say like, who's available to serve this client? One of the things that we're doing that really, I think, has changed the journey for clients is to be able to handpick and match an advisor specifically for you, specifically for your needs, to be able to make sure that you have the best experience possible. And I think that's just really exciting. And I think, like you shared, just going deeper with clients, like that's what it's all about. The money is just a tool. It's about really understanding people at their core. And I think I'm glad that we highlighted that today.
I'm glad you shared that, because I agree that what we're looking for is connection. And when we get connection, we can then build trust. And when we build trust, then we can then make the right decisions with the right support, with whom, you kind of recognize that they're working on your behalf. You have that connection that's kind of built that. And that's beautiful that you're allowing clients that freedom and liberty and agency. You're giving clients agency to say, with whom do you have this connection? Let's make sure you find the right person. Laura, thank you so much for sharing your story, your mission. Your work is a very powerful reminder that inclusive, values-aligned wealth management is not just good for business. It's the future of our industry. And if you just go for it, you play a very, very serious role in building the future of our industry. The future of wealth is in your hands. You just have to harness it, grab it, and do it. Go for it. Laura, where can listeners connect with you, learn more about your work with Mercer Advisors? This is a great opportunity for you to highlight the incredible work you've been doing on social media. I think a lot of advisors can learn a lot from that and maybe recognize, even when you are in this regulated, very compliant industry, you can build a really powerful brand, which you have done.
Wonderful. Well, people can connect with me at merceradvisors.com. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Laura Combs, CFP, and would love to engage in a conversation and learn more about what advisors and listeners are doing today.
Absolutely. For our listeners, how are you building wealth that reflects your values? How are you just going for it? Let us know in the comments. Send us a message. Please like, share, send this to your family. Anyone that you believe needs to hear the message that they should just go for it and make the right decisions with their money as a tool for impact and purpose. Thank you, Laura, so much for being here. I've really appreciated getting to know you.
Thank you for having me, Marla. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Your support helps us bring more transformative conversations to you. Until next time, keep discovering, keep growing, and remember, you're in control of your own financial story. Follow us for more conversations on financial confidence, self-discovery, and the future of money.